Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Weekly Wrestling Heat. We are back with another episode.
Oh,
It's
what
me
is
and
up?
my co-host Moise.
Yeah, Matt was supposed to come on and give some wrong opinions, but he had a family night tonight. Um, so we won't be blessed with his wrong opinions about war games.
Now, yeah, we'll have him on pretty soon.
We had
Hopefully,
a
back
pretty
again.
heated debate. Me and Matt did, where you it seemed like you took Matt's side, which we'll get
A little
into.
bit,
Which
a
we'll
little
get
bit, a little bit.
into. Um, we'll get into when we discuss,
War games.
yeah. So let's go ahead
Let's
and get
get
into it.
into. Let's
Dude,
actually get into it.
I don't even remember NXT, bro, or AEW.
I remember. I'm looking up things, but um.
Yeah, let me pull up the
So
results while you
so
talk
new
about news. Yeah.
news. Basically, Beth Phoenix is no longer on the commentary table.
I
She,
think she's getting into that feud with Edge and Miz.
basically everything else is pretty much. Oh, next weekend, or is it this weekend or next weekend? Is Ring of Honor's last event.
It's
For
this weekend.
final battle. It's this
Final
weekend. So
battle.
no,
Kenny King and Shane Taylor for the title.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
so that'll be
and then
fun.
there's speculations on Kyrie Sane no longer being with WWE. So that's it.
I
That's pretty
think
much it.
she's gonna pop up at Rumble
She might. Who knows? I'm not too
because
too
she had
too
that
worried about that
ambassador
one.
role there, so she was basically getting paid just for public appearances. And on that part of the world, they haven't been able to have many public appearances.
Yeah. It's still COVID is still messing things up for it. And also MLW Azteca will be premiering on Thursday, January 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Um, so this is basically a spinoff of MLW.
And this won't be on Vice. This will be on YouTube, correct?
Looks like it's going to be on YouTube.
Cool, cool. All right.
Actually, no, yeah, YouTube and Fight TV.
And
So
then we're not going to spoil next week's start for you, but you guys need to watch next week's start, especially if you've been following us.
yes, that's all we can say.
Um,
Anyways,
but
getting
yeah,
into
let's
it,
get into it.
getting into the brunt of it. AW last week, basically had the match between Brian
Oh, so
Danielson
Cody
and
went through a fire table. Let's just talk about the important stuff.
okay,
Um, so this match started, and I saw like Vaseline or skin ripping off of Cody, and I'm just like, what's going on here? And then like halfway through it, I'm like, man, are they gonna have a fire spot? And I was like, maybe it's gonna be a fireball spot, which would really, I think, actually suit Andrade's Black Mask character.
yeah,
Um, but no, it was Cody wanted to do a reverse suplex from the top rope through a table, where Cody goes through the table. Andrade kind of caught on fire, beat that out really quick, and this had the internet a buzz in good ways and bad ways. So let's give our opinions, Elias.
I thought that Cody didn't need to win that one.
I did
I
too, but I can kind of see like the heel turn coming here,
I
which
can
Matt
see it
disagreed with
too.
me, but
I can see
you
it
and
too, but
Justin were on my side.
I can see it too, but at the same time, I don't I don't like the way they're going about it.
Well, I don't either. I think they're taking like the long way around, which I told you a couple weeks ago I thought Andrade was going to turn face.
Yeah.
So I think they're just taking the long way around. I think they were going for a double turn. It just didn't hit, and when a double turn doesn't hit, it's very
They
awkward.
detour for a little. They detour for a little bit, and
Yeah,
even so, I'll agree with you because at the beginning of the match, I was like, "What is that?" I thought Cody had a bad sunburn. Like
that's what
that's
I
what I
thought
thought.
too. Yeah,
I'm like,
and
damn, like he must have gone tanning and tanning went wrong.
and then I
Like
saw
that.
some on Andrade's shirt when Andrade took his shirt off. I'm like, maybe Brandy Andrade and Cody, all just went to the beach or something. And I found out Charlotte wouldn't be with them because Charlotte and Andrade broke up apparently.
And
Um,
apparently that's not true because Hugo Sanovich, the old announcer for WWE, said that they didn't.
he's
So I
been
don't know
wrong a
what.
lot though, so we'll see what
Yeah, so it's
happens.
like there's no telling. They still follow each other on social media. It's just I don't know. It's one of those weird things, but regardless of that, um,
Yeah, so both
it
men
was.
look burnt. And
I just thought that it was a weird way to end the match, and I'm guessing people liked it. I'm part of the people that was like, why was this spot needed, and why did Cody take the brunt of the damage, and why did they
yeah,
try that? Why did they try that weird, I guess, Vaseline or whatever it is to prevent them from getting burned, and they end up getting burned regardless.
well, I mean, I'm sure it would have been much worse if they didn't have the Vaseline on. But
Yeah,
no, I think they should just went with a front suplex here. Maybe Andrade was like, "No, I'm not getting burned because I have a lot of hair product." Um, yeah, I don't know what it was, but I think the reverse suplex was a bad idea because you can't see. Neither of y'all can see going down because one
they
guy's face
almost
is facing up, and then Cody's face is
it
facing forward to the crowd.
it was almost botched, and that's where I had a problem with it. And I don't know, like I said, this weird turn that they're trying to do with Cody, or if they're trying to like tease it, kind of like how when John Cena was teasing turning heel a little bit, like he would do some things. Like I think one moment that stuck out for me in this whole thing was when he went under, pulled out the candlestick, threw it out, pulled out the
Golden shovel.
sledgehammer, and then like kind of like looked at it for a second and kind of smiled deviantly and then threw it and then pulled out the golden shovel. I think he's trying to play into that character, but I think it's just not hitting off like with the crowd as well as it needs to.
I think if anyone can get him booed out of the building, Brandy will definitely be the person for it. Um, I like see Brandy's a more natural heel than even Cody is. Um, but and for me at least, it's not the go away heat for Brandy. I think Brandy's a great person. I think people know that, and I
Yeah.
think Brandy just knows how to get heel heat. Um, we weren't planning on it, but I actually do want to talk about Raw from yesterday too. Um, AEW. Anything else you want to touch on? Another MJF Punk back and forth that was decent.
I thought that
Uh,
that one would had less. I think the comment that the comment that MJF made about Britt Baker was dumb, but it worked. It got a pop.
I don't think it was dumb because Adam Cole and MJF the feud I want to see now.
Well, it even Adam Cole's like he's like just he doesn't want to hear him saying it, and then MJF said that he doesn't want to beef with Cole right now. Blah blah blah. His focus is MJF. That he
But
really kind of dismissed.
I think this is going into Cole and MJ. I think this is going to be a one off because I think you can go back to CM Punk and MJF down the line.
Yeah,
I think I think they're building this as a backup plan in case they don't get Kyle O'Reilly.
I could see that. I think it's one of those plans that they're trying to see exactly what's going to happen, and they're taking it little by little, day by day, or week by week. So I see nothing wrong with it. I thought that it was funny, but at the same time, I was like, why? But then I was like, I look back at the promo, and then look back at the promo they did the week before when CM Punk called Britt one of the four pillars instead of MJF.
Yeah,
So it made sense after that. So regardless of that, I thought it was pretty decent. Um, the one thing that kind of the one thing that kind of the match that I kind of liked out of AEW last week was the Ruby Soho versus Chris Statlander.
very good
It's a
match.
very good match. I thought that they showcased both women. Both of them didn't look weak. I thought that it was funny how how Chris Statler did the boop on Ruby, and it was just her reaction was priceless. So I think it was one of the better segments of the night for
I think
that.
we got a lot of good women's matches this week. There's one that me and you are gonna have different opinions on, but I think, and we'll get into the second one that I think me and you are both gonna agree on. But yeah, I thought it was a good match. I even another thing I want to talk about is I loved Leo Rush's promo.
I did too. I liked it. I thought it was
I
one
think it
of
was
the
very overlooked because it was in that weird spot of the show, you know? And I really liked it. Leo saying, I'm a fighter.
yeah.
Taz being like, yo, it's nothing personal. It's my team. I'll recruit who I want to recruit. And I think Dante Martin's going to turn on Team Taz tomorrow. I know Matt said no. Were you on Matt's side here or were you on my side here?
I don't know. I'm really interested to see this promo, and and I just saw the I'm watching NXT at the same time as we're doing this, and I saw who the shaman is, and I think you're gonna like who the shaman is.
Okay.
So I just put it like
Cool.
that. Um anyways, yeah, I think this is gonna take a turn. I think it's something that Leo and Dante put together to try to kind of like
Team
screw
Taz.
Team Taz. So
And
that's
this could be the last feud, getting Dante and Leo a tag title match. You know, like leading to that.
you know
Um,
what? I really want to see Pride and Powerful be number one contenders because I feel like they're the most overlooked team right now.
I
Um,
agree. They run a lot of New York shows, so I think you can throw that in whenever you want because
yeah,
they'll always be over with that New York crowd. Um, but yeah, let's dive into Raw really quick before we go into War
War
Games.
Games.
Um, I loved the main event, and I told you last week I'm gonna wait and see on Liv. I loved Liv's facial expression when she was coming out, where
Yeah,
she looked
she was
nervous.
taken in the moment.
She was
I
taking
think
the
that's
deep
one.
breaths. Yeah,
I think this was one of the most organic moments from a superstar in a long time. Um, with like as far as like a main event championship match like this caliber, and it was a great tribute to Trish and Lita from what they did almost 20 years ago.
yeah, and then Becky winning with the ropes. You could see this feud going on. I'm hoping this feud continues on and I hope it actually makes Liv look like a badass rather than them just putting Liv in a random match with Tamina next week.
I think that this whole thing with Liv, it was a test for her to see how well she handled the main event spotlight. And I will say that I think she passed that test with flying colors because regardless of a couple of botches that I saw that was kind of like miscues, um I think that I really think that it was really good. I think it was a really good match, a really good showing for her. I could see her, and then this is something that I think a lot of the wrestling dirt sheet guys and the analysts posted. They could see Liv winning Royal Rumble and going on to dethrone Becky at WrestleMania to make it a bigger moment for her because it seems that the company is invested in her character now for some reason. Um,
Even and like I said,
even
there were a lot of good women's matches. Bianca and Drew Drop, they were good. They got almost 15 minutes.
yeah,
Crowd was about to erupt when Bianca almost got her up for that KOD.
yeah.
But then Doudrop just walking out.
I will say that even the Nikki versus Queen Selena match was decent. Um, I am liking what kind of intrigued on what they're doing with Nikki right now. I think they're trying to move away from the ASH character and they're trying to get her go back to her old sanity character, which I think will fit in perfectly with Rhea's character
I
a
think
little bit
so
more.
too. Yeah, I'm just done with the superhero stuff. Um, so yeah, I want her to go back to old Nikki. I think even partnering with Rhea, going into a feud with Rhea, I think it worked good. Her and Bianca, I think, had a pretty good match in NXT too, back in the
Yeah,
day. Um, with the Liv winning the Royal Rumble, I still think it's building to Bianca's gonna win and um beat Becky
Becky.
to get her title back,
Either
or a Raquel to face Charlotte.
either that or I think it will probably happen at day one.
Okay,
And
I can see that. Yeah,
and if Liv does win day one, then it throws a complete different curveball to a complete curveball to any plans that everybody thinks is going to happen.
because then you have a heel win the Rumble. Yeah, um, a heel female. But I could also see her winning at day one, having the title for a couple of months and losing it at Elimination Chamber back to Becky.
I could see that too.
And that's where you build the story. Like Liv got eliminated by Becky. Becky came up short. Bianca barely
Liv.
came up short to Becky. Yeah, whatever you want to do there. Yeah, let's dive into War Games.
I will say
Um,
this one thing that before we go on, one thing that kind of surprised me was that they pulled the trigger on the almost AJ Styles split up.
I think they'll do a couple of weeks backstage where you see tension, but it's like cooling, and then it's not. I call it the volcano build. Like the volcano is just like simmering right now. It hadn't erupted. Um, and then Austin Theory and Finn Balor, I think will be fun.
Yes, I like that segment. I like the fact that I think I don't like. I kind of am starting to not dislike, but be weird, feel weird about the segments with him and and Vince because I don't know where it's going. But yeah, that's pretty
I told you
much.
where it's going last week. Shane McMahon's coming back, and it's gonna be Shane and Austin Theory at Mania.
I don't want to see that. Anyways,
Wait,
going into War
pause.
Game,
You don't think it's gonna be a good match?
would it? I think it'll be a good match, but will Shane win? That's the question.
No, he doesn't have to though. Oh, you don't like the idea because you think Shane will come back and win.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I can see that, but no, I think Austin and Shane could have a banger match, and I think if Austin goes over, it could be a great story. But yeah, let's
Yeah.
get into War Games.
War Games.
So first match to kick off the show was the Women's War Games match, and yeah, we had we had a bunch of different opinions in our group chat with this. David and me were loving the match. You and Matt weren't fans of or weren't big on it. Matt wasn't a fan of it. You weren't big on it. So yeah, let's talk.
I I thought that the match there was a couple of spots in the match that were kind of like botched, like when Kaylee Ray and Toxic Attraction came in the tag team girl Jake Gate.
Well,
Uh,
you had to expect that. The girls, dude, like I get what they're trying to do with Toxic Attraction. They don't need to be anywhere near a ring, bro. I don't care about Gigi Dolan's past and how great she was on the indie for her tampon playing. I don't care about that. Like working for WWE is completely different.
yeah,
People were like, "Oh, Gigi Dolan MVP of this match." I'm like, "No, Gigi Dolan, get her the hell out of this match."
I'll say this. I really think Cora was the MVP of this match.
I
Um
think Cora and Dakota were the MVPs. Yes.
yeah, because apart from that, Dakota took most of the damage, or
Hmm.
most of the I get well damage, or most of the beating from the rest of them. I thought that Mandy felt off in this match because typically she's been good in her matches. It's just that this time around it felt like she was a little off. So I'm
Yeah,
interested to see what
that was
happened.
weird to me. And then I thought Raquel would get some more power spots, but
I'm still wondering why they brought in a bag and they never used the bag.
yeah, I'm wondering that too. Another thing I'm wondering about is the whole when Kaylee Ray just like kind of stared at Cora for a minute. I was like, what's going on here? And now I'm thinking like maybe you make them a tag team.
Either make them a tag team or it sets up for an interesting little turn for Kaylee Ray because Kaylee Ray is not known for being a face.
Yeah, but I think it's the Big Show factor that you're turning her too quick.
Yeah.
And you need a tag team challenge. You need tag team challengers.
I think that the company is putting their money behind Cora Jade to be the future
Yeah,
of
and I
NXT
think
and
Haley would be a great veteran for her to be with. Yeah,
yeah. So I think that they kind of have similar styles. Um, the whole storyline on how she jumped off, messed up her shoulder and everything. I thought it was kind of fun, but kind of funny, but kind of like, why are they doing this? Was when Io Shirai popped her shoulder back in. Um, I thought it was pretty interesting. But I was
I
like,
think
kind
if
of
you
like,
don't have the shoulder spot, you have a couple of like not heavy attacks, but like a couple of weak kicks to the shoulder. Just to play it off like, oh, she's just down in her corner holding on to her shoulder. Then she rolls over and gets the pin. I think would be a more heroic effort for her. I think it
yeah.
would look cooler.
And I think she did something good. I thought that the ending moment of this match was kind of like random because she was just standing there. She's like, "All right, I'll take the pin. I'll get the pin," and then the match ended. So it kind of ended kind of weird. But overall, the match was good. The damage that they did to each other was pretty legit. I like the death
And
violence.
one complaint Matt had was, why is everyone bringing weapons in right now? And I think that it was fine because War Games is a unique type of match where we see it twice. We see two of them every year. So I think you got to switch it up. Like, I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised the next one you bring in a ladder. Like switch it up a little bit. And that's why I'm gonna let the bag spot slide too. Every time a bag comes in, you usually see something fall out of it. So maybe this time everyone's like, it's there.
it's not needed.
Yeah,
I'll say one spot that I liked a lot from this match was when Raquel dumped Dakota Kai into the trash can and just
yeah.
swung her around. I thought that that showed strength, but I also thought it was funny because Dakota actually fit into the trash can with ease.
That was cool. I thought the kendo stick, going through the kendo sticks was cool. The front flip from Cora, obviously, which was my spot of the night until the men's war game match.
Yeah,
But interested to see where they go. I think Cora and Kaylee will be challenging for tag titles, and yeah, next
yeah, that's
match.
pretty much up on that match. The NXT Tag Team Championship match: Kyle Riley, Von Wagner versus Imperium. Um,
Oh
I thought
man,
this. I thought this
I just
match
yawned.
started off.
That's how I felt for this match. It was a
I
great
thought this
match, and
it
all.
was a great match, but it started off slow. It started off with not really a lot of excitement till the end. Hats off to Imperium. Imperium was the ones that really carried the match.
Dude,
Um,
Fabian Eichner. Oh my god, he looks so good in this.
every high spot or every spot, any saving spot that would happen, that high spot that he did to break up the cover. Um, I thought that or the was it the cover or was it the
No, it was
submission?
the submission, and then there was that one spot where he just caught the guy into a suplex. Yeah, dude, he's a powerhouse. He reminds me a lot of Cesaro, not just because they're both bald, white, and foreigners, just because of the power too. Um, but yeah,
The The
Good
heel
match.
the missed heel turn from Von Wagner to get his ass whipped by Kyle O'Reilly, I thought was not needed, but I mean it paid off for Kyle, at least.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
So screw this. I want to go. I want to go on to the next segment. So we saw a promo for Brooks and Dunn, or whatever their name is, Brooks and Jensen, whatever their name is, and you commented saying, "Who are these guys?" When you're supposed to be watching NXT weekly.
I'm watching NXT now and I haven't seen anything about them, so
But
it's
they
like,
were on the last 4 weeks.
were they? Because I haven't paid attention. So
Well,
if
the
they
thing.
were if there were
So
visionettes, if there were the visionettes, I didn't see them because I typically get
no,
up and walk off
there
and
were vignettes, and here's the thing. Get ready to save this. That just proves how much of a charisma vacuum Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner are, because they teamed with them in an 8-man tag against Legado and Imperium like 3 weeks ago, and you love Legado. So that proves how uncharismatic Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner are. Get them off my TV ASAP. Thank you, Kyle. You can go to AEW, play with your friends. I think it would help your career out a lot. I think you're so much better with Adam and Bobby. So
I think that I think I think you'll kind of change your mind on the cage match today, but yeah, I don't. It's just it is what it is. Anyways, hair versus hair match: Cameron Grimes versus Duke Hudson. I was entertained by this match. I would
it,
say
it,
this is one of the matches of the night.
it was cool. I think this should have been the cool down spot, because I think people would have popped more for Fabian and Marcel if if the match is switched.
Yeah.
Have they shown Duke Hudson on TV yet?
Yeah, and yeah, I'll let you watch it.
Okay, I'm really interested to see if he's bald or just buzzed. If he's buzzed, he's gonna get that hair back in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'll let you watch it and go from there.
Okay,
Um, I thought that Cameron Grimes looked great. I will
yeah,
say that Cameron Grimes looked really good.
I think the haircut
Um,
makes him look better, dude. Like Cameron,
he looks younger. I'll say that.
he looks like a
And
star as opposed
and
to a hillbilly, which
and
was the
that's what's
character.
funny. And that's what's funny because they mentioned it in the promo leading up to the match when Duke Hudson was like, "I cut your hair and you look better." And
Yeah.
that was what was funny to me about the whole situation from there. Um,
Did they replace Beth on commentary, or is it just the
it's a two-man booth right now.
awesome? I'm very excited. I love 2-man boots. Beth was awesome,
Uh,
but 2-man boots are my go-to.
all right, Cruiserweight Championship match: Roderick Strong versus Joe Gacy. For what this match was, I enjoyed it.
This is where actually, I'm just going to keep what happened in the group chat because we don't want to talk about all that.
Yeah, it went from there. Uh,
I am enjoying Gacy's character because I want to see him get beat up. He's I think he's Vince and Road Dogg's idea of a snowflake, and I'm interested to see where it goes. Um, I feel like what's going to eventually happen is they're going to go too deep down the road, and what's
yeah,
eventually going to happen is they're just going to be like, "Oh, he's a guy with a big mouth that Harlan has to back up."
yeah. That's all. I mean, I really have no real feelings about this match. I thought it was good. Um, Roddy Strong looked good like always.
What do you
Um,
do with Roddy Strong now? What's the next? Have they showed anything on NXT? Okay.
he challenged somebody, and I think you're going to be interested on who he challenged.
Okay. So I will say, they showed a vignette of the kid who tried out in Vegas. His name is escaping me right now. It's the one where he's just sitting at the diner. You know what I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about, and I heard good things about that guy.
Yeah,
I
he
forgot his name.
apparently he was one of the ones that Vince wanted to keep on, is what I was reading. So, yeah, very excited to see where they go with that character. He's an African American cruiserweight. You'll know him when you see him. He has a vignette in the diner. Um, he doesn't really even speak much in it. It's just something I'm very intrigued by the way they're going with the vignettes. But yeah, after this we got the men's War Games match.
I thought this match was one of the better matches one of my favorite matches of this year. Not necessarily saying that it was the best match out of it, but I thought that it was kind of a good passing of the torch in a sense to like the kind of like I know we kind of said I know Matt was kind of like why was LA Knight in the match, but regardless he was still part of the Black and Gold brand. Regardless of that, I see him being a really good I saw the stars in the making for the future with Braun Breaker with Braun Breaker with all four of the new guys I thought it was a Carmelo Hayes
before this match for me, like the future, it went Braun Breaker. It's probably gonna be hard. This is how I looked at it. I was like, it's gonna be Breaker, Harlan, Carmelo, and then everyone else just fodder. We joke about Tony D'Angelo, but I think after this match, I think Grayson Waller's stock and Tony D'Angelo's stock both shot up.
Yeah, they were all Grayson Walker took a lot of
Grayson Waller took that. He took the beating. Had that elbow spot. He had that flipping stunner that he does. That's really cool. Tony D'Angelo had the cool crowbar spot, which I think is going to lead to his next feud with Pete Dunne.
There's a little detour on the way because before the match, you saw what's his name come to the back and was like, "You need somebody to guide y'all," and Tony D'Angelo kind of like shoot him away.
I missed this. What happened?
I forgot what his name is. He's like he has like I forgot his name, and he just came up on my TV too.
Robert
they were in
Stone?
The locker room. No, it wasn't Robert Stone.
Santos?
No, it was he had he has those he had that freaking little
You're really bad at this for watching NXT Weekly. I don't think you're watching NXT Weekly.
I am watching it. I'm watching it right now.
Who are you speaking? Can I miss this?
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. I forgot his name.
Well, Elias goes through the roster. This match ended how you thought it was going to end. It was Braun Breaker pinning Camacho. Johnny Gargano came out to Rebel Heart. I know Elias wants to comment on all this, but he needs to figure out who the hell he's talking about first. Johnny Gargano came out to Rebel Heart and stitched up all of his takeover gear. That was really cool. They announced New Year's Evil, which was also a very cool January 4th. I loved the Grayson Waller spot. I loved the crowbar spot with Tony D'Angelo. I thought Dexter Lumis and Trick Williams, I think, are going to go into their own thing, which I think can be very good as well. And Elias is still looking for this guy's name.
Andre Chase.
The school teacher dude. Why did
the school teacher guy? He had the little freaking sweater on the
sweater. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, the interaction between Tony D'Angelo and Andre Chase was pretty cool. Even today's NXT episode, they had a pretty interesting episode, little segment.
I think those are the two most entertaining on the mic guys they have.
So regardless of that, I right now I'm watching NXT because the reason I want to see what Johnny Gargano has to say. They've been holding it
Mhm.
off, so I'm guessing he's going to close out the show with whatever he has to say. Um, I think that if this was the way for Johnny Gargano to go out in NXT, I thought it was perfect. The
He's
DIY reunion was
obviously
perfect.
staying. They're not going to give him the main event segment to leave.
By the way, Raquel Gonzalez looks really good. Anyways,
Yes, he's a great athlete.
Going back to what I was saying, Johnny Gargano had a. I like everything that happened in this match. I thought the DIY spot when they did their finisher on Braun Breaker was pretty awesome. I like the when they did their double finisher from the rope. I thought that was a pretty cool episode right there. So I think that whether if it was Gargano's last hurrah with NXT, I thought it was a perfect send off for him. From I am a mark for Rebel Heart, the song itself. So
Yeah, so
this
you
is funny
cried
because
when this happened. I know.
no, this is funny because I would before he came out, because I was like, please let him use Rebel Heart. I was like, if he uses Rebel Heart, if they use Rebel Heart for this match, I was gonna mark out. I marked out. I literally
Did
was
you
like, I
watch this
started
with?
singing.
Did you watch this with Monty or your wife, or did you watch this alone?
I watched this alone.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to get some feedback on if you cried or not. Um, no, I I don't think Gargano's leaving. You don't give him the main event segment if he's leaving. I think it's going to be the complete opposite. I think they're going to announce his next feud.
Either that, or
Uh,
I think he's gonna say he resigned, and then something's gonna happen that in the main event of this show where
and
it's
then
gonna be.
Vince is going to come out and be like, "No, you didn't," and it's going to lead to like the all-out family war where Shane McMahon comes back to face Austin Theory, and Triple H and Stephanie have their own team, and that's how they prevent Vince from selling the company. And wrestling's good again because Triple H and Stephanie and Vince and Shane will finally take over,
Hopefully.
and everyone
Anyways,
that's released will be back.
I will say this, and this is kind of a little rant before we finish the show. I thought that I think that that NXT hasn't changed a step in a sense. Um, I think they're still doing the same thing which the company set out to do with NXT, which is build new stars. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it sucks that they're not using as much indie talent as they used to use. But I think they're giving these new guys a chance to make a name for themselves. And I think that's something that kind of was overshadowed back in the black and gold, where you had all these indie guys come in and take the top spots of the company in NXT. Um, but I think in this instance, I think they're trying to find their footing with and the new NXT and the way of pushing these new guys. I think they're doing a good job with Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Tony D'Angelo, Cora Jade, even with Toxic Attraction, trying to build them to be a top heel faction. I think they're doing what they think is best for their business. Um, I think people just need to give it a chance because a lot of people don't watch it because they don't see the indie talent there anymore. But I think like right now you still have Legado there, you still have uh Imperium, you still have a lot of the old reminiscences
Gargano,
of NXT.
Ciampa, yeah,
So I think it's just
MSK, yeah.
I
There's a
think it's
lot
just
of
worth
indie
giving.
talent there still, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's just worth giving it a chance and seeing where it goes. They like I said, NXT War Games was not bad. It was really good. I think you gave it a 7.58. I gave it an 8.
I gave
Even
it an 8
Matt
and I gave it a 7.5, I think.
7.5. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, no, I wanna there's a couple of things I'm looking forward to too. Like I wanna see if they give us Pete Dunne and Tony D'Angelo at New Year's Evil. I want to see Tiffany Stratton. Um, I know you're following her all over her social media.
I
So,
haven't. I haven't paid attention to her.
uh-huh. Yeah, I know you watch. You saved that episode of 205 in your favorites where she debuted. I know you did.
I think that's you. I think you're telling us your story
I
on
haven't
what
seen
you
the
do.
girl's face yet. That's why I'm interested.
Yeah, I
But
haven't seen her face
it's a
either. But
character that I love because those are the types of girls I go after. Like I want spoiled daddy's little girl, you know?
yeah, so we'll see what happens. Either way, I think that's it for today's episode. Unless you got
What
anything
were you
else.
just doing? Were you looking up Tiffany Stratton, or were you just going through
No, I was
Raquel's
looking up
Instagram?
I was looking up an article about Adam Cole discussing the divide between the AEW originals and the recent roster additions.
Oh, okay. Because
So
I'm gonna go through Raquel's Instagram now that you told me how good she looked today.
yeah, I mean, yeah, she looked good. Anyways, that's pretty much it for today's episode. I'm gonna hop off so I can finish watching NXT because we got Zion Quinn versus Santos Escobar right now. So Legato's on my screen and
New
Elektra
school,
Lopez is
old
on.
school. Like that's what I'm saying. Like people don't understand this.
And then Elektra's on my TV screen right now, so it's kind of like distracting right now. See, just seeing her there.
All right, so we're gonna bounce. We're gonna go
So,
peace.
ladies and
Clip
gentlemen,
that. Yo, I want you to clip me calling homeboy boring because I'm gonna put that on our TikTok and get some hate.
all right, you got it. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week with an episode covering NXT, AEW this week's AEW, and covering Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown's gonna be interesting. I'm really liking this storyline between Tony and Charlotte after Tony got her revenge.
Yeah, and you think Sami Zayn's gonna win the title? Exciting.
I think Sami Zayn's gonna win a title, not the championship, not the World Heavyweight Championship, but a championship. He's gonna win the 24/7 or the United States or the Intercontinental title soon.
I think he's gonna be gone from the company soon because his contract's coming up.
Yeah, we'll keep positive. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're out. Thank you for joining us. Follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Weekly Wrestling Heat. Follow us on Instagram, Weekly Wrestling Heat. Follow us on Twitch at Weekly Wrestling Heat TV. As always, peace out. Have a good rest of your week, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Later. Bye.